Hey guys, what's going on? It's DarkBlaze here, and I want to welcome you guys not just to another episode of Bonanza Week, but to the 50th episode on my channel, the 50th video. Oh my gosh, I've been waiting to do this for such a while, such a long time, at least, 3 weeks, and that's a long time for me to plan out a video. But I've been so excited to do this video, and I immediately thought how cool it would be to compare Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! In terms of their creatures, what they're based on, the monsters and the Pokemon. So, quick question. Have you ever just sat down and thought about, what are some similarities between Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Besides, the adventure aspect, making friends, bonding, new experiences? What else is there? Well, there's a lot of similarities between the designs of the monsters and the designs of the Pokemon. And that's what we're here to look at today. I'm going to share with you guys my 50 Pokemon that resemble different Yu-Gi-Oh! Monsters. And there are Yu-Gi-Oh! Monsters and Pokemon from every generation, every era of Yu-Gi-Oh! And all the regions in the Pokemon world. So, grab some friends, grab some snacks, and I really hope you'll enjoy this video. If you enjoy this, totally leave it a like, and if you're new, you should totally click the subscribe button, because you won't want to miss a thing, because I upload Pokemon content every Tuesday and every Saturday, as well as Yu-Gi-Oh! Content on those days. And also comment down below what are some of your favorite Pokemon that resemble Yu-Gi-Oh! Monsters, and what generation they're from, how many you can get from each generation. So without any more hesitation, let's get into this video, guys. Alright guys, so fair warning before we get started, there are a lot of PERFORMAPALs resembling Pokemon in this video, so just a fair warning if you're not too fond of the PERFORMAPAL archetype. So anyway, the first Pokemon up on this list is Arbok, who resembles, why not, PERFORMAPAL Whipsnake. They resemble each other just obvious reasons, just simply in their design, the shape of their body, and the color of their skin. So that's basically the main obvious reasons as to why they both resemble each other, and Whipsnake is just kind of a funnier version. Next we have Beautifly, Butterfree, and Vivillon, so we have 3 Pokemon in one spot, which all are resemblance of the Butterspy archetype from Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal. The Butterspy are just a ton of different butterfly monsters that are just really tough, really cool, XZ summon, and these 3 butterfly Pokemon resemble them really well. Butterfree, Beautifly, and Vivillon. And Vivillon has a ton of forms, which is even better because now it kind of represents the whole archetype, having so many different forms. Next up we have Braixen and Delphox, which resemble Dark Magician Girl. Now this one's kind of a stretch, not too much of a stretch, but the reason I say they represent Dark Magician Girl is because they have the wand and they kind of look like spellcaster. Braixen is standing up, and on top of it, Braixen and Delphox, along with standing up and having the wooden stick, which looks like a magic wand to shoot fire from, they do have access to psychic type move, which makes them kind of a spellcaster, and Braixen and Delphox both look very feminine, so therefore they resemble Dark Magician Girl. Next we have Camerupt and Numel, which represent a PERFORMAPAL Camelump. Now this is also obvious, just like Whipsnake, just obvious reasons, design, color, and overall the name too. Camerupt, Camelump, Numel, Camelump. So I mean, for obvious reasons, these two represent each other. Next up we have Carnivine and Victreebel, which represent EVILSWARM Mandragora, and also any kind of Predaplant monster in the game. These two Pokemon are just kind of vicious grass type, they're weird grass types, and their biology and the makeup of their body are very reminiscent of Predaplants and of EVILSWARM Mandragora. You can see it in the design, the color, and just the overall design, and their names are just kind of weird too. They kind of strike fear a little bit in my opinion. Next up we have Charizard on this list, and I'm actually very happy Charizard was able to end up here. Charizard represents Tyrant Dragon. Now if you just look at Tyrant Dragon, I mean it is just a big, beefy, like just destructive monster. The color of the skin both being orange and both being a fire type, a fire attribute, really strong. So Charizard definitely has a comparison to Tyrant Dragon. I just think it's really cool, it's really awesome, and I was actually really happy that I was able to find this comparison. It's really cool. Next up we have Charmander. I didn't put Charmander and Charizard in the same spot because they didn't resemble like similar monsters. So Charmander is representative of PERFORMAPAL Lizardraw. Yes, another PERFORMAPAL. Lizardraw is obviously just Charmander in a nice Jester clown suit. And I mean, come on. Tell me that's not Charmander. If you were to dress up a Charmander in the anime, tell me that's not what it would look like. Because that's exactly what it would look like. I have no doubt in my mind that's what it would be. So Charmander looks like PERFORMAPAL Lizardraw. Next up, we have Chatot and Execute. Now you're wondering, okay, what on earth do these two Pokemon have in common with one Yu-Gi-Oh card? Well, we're going to take a look at PERFORMAPAL Paratrio. PERFORMAPAL Paratrio is 3 birds put together, so therefore, and they have an egg shape too. They're very circular, very round and soft, so therefore they made me think of Execute, being soft, round, put together. And the reason I say Chatot looks like Paratrio as well, because they look like singing birds. They're in a trio, they're PERFORMAPAL, so they probably are singing. Their design, their birds and their design of being soft and round just makes me think of Chatot all the way, all the time. Next up, we have Crustle and Parasect. Again, 2 Pokemon. You're probably thinking, what do they have in common with a card? Well, it's PERFORMAPAL Cellshell Crab. Cellshell Crab looks like Parasect if it had a weird shiny form, or if it was just really sick. If it was just really sick, I think that's what Parasect would look like. Also, it looks like Crustle because Cellshell Crab has the giant, obviously, giant shell on its back, and Crustle has one too, made out of rock. So, I mean, very similar. Even their faces and their head look very similar if you look really closely at them. Then we have Drillbur and Excadrill. These two are representative of Neospatian Grand Mole. Grand Mole is obviously, you can tell by the design, it's got 2 drills on the side, it's a mole, it's earth attribute, while Excadrill and Drillbur are both, I think, ground, obviously, and they might be steel as well. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty positive they are ground type. So obviously you can see with the drill design, the animal design, mole design, so they are obvious reasons representative of each other. Next up, we have Emolga. Emolga looks like PERFORMAPAL Mom and Carpet. Yes, I realize there are a lot of PERFORMAPALs. I said this at the beginning, so I just want to say it again to make sure you guys know that there are a lot of PERFORMAPALs. Anyway, PERFORMAPAL Mom and Carpet definitely looks like Emolga. I mean, they both look like a flying squirrel, and they both have the same like wingspan. They're both small, they're both cute, and they're just both really awesome. They're both electrifying. Mom and Carpet always make me think of Aladdin, and yeah, so they totally resemble each other. Mom and Carpet and Emolga. Next up is Girafarig, which again, to a PERFORMAPAL. In this case, PERFORMAPAL Chain Giraffe. Obvious reasons, they're both giraffe, they have simple designs, and they look like each other. Girafarig looks like PERFORMAPAL Chain Giraffe. I mean, I'm not sure what else I really can say about that. I mean, it's really obvious right there. Same color of the skin, same height, same biology, so that's why they both look like each other. Next up, we have actual Gyarados. Gyarados is on this list, and it resembles number 17 Leviathan Dragon, the effect monster Leviathan Dragon, and it represents Poseidra the Atlantean Dragon. It represents all 3 because all of these are sea serpents, although Leviathan Dragon might be an actual dragon, but probably not. But anyway, Gyarados is a sea serpent itself. It's the atrocious Pokemon, and the other 3 sea serpents of the Yu-Gi-Oh monsters are all atrocious as well. They are just mad scary, mad strong, and they're definitely tough monsters, very tough monsters, and Gyarados is a tough Pokemon, so it's very fitting in this case. Next up, we have PERFORMAPAL Hip-Hippo, which looks like the Pokemon from Sinnoh, Hippopotas. Hippopotas and Hip-Hippo are both obviously based off the hippopotamus, while Hippopotas being based off a ground version of a hippo. Hip-Hippo is pink, very lively, energetic, and it's a PERFORMAPAL, so it's really silly. I just think this is really cool, and for obvious reasons, this is why they are similar. Next up, we have the Pokemon Illumise, which represents PERFORMAPAL Firefly. They're both obviously based on fireflies, they have similar designs, even a similar color scheme, and they both light up. So I think this is really interesting as to why these two are similar. Then we actually have Ladybug, and Ladybug is based off the 4-starred Ladybug of Doom from the OG series of Yu-Gi-Oh! Ladybug is a ladybug, obviously, so is the 4-starred Ladybug of Doom. They're very similar, they have the 4 spots on their back, they're insect, and for obvious reasons, Ladybug looks like the 4-starred Ladybug of Doom. Next up, we have Lotad, Lombre, and Ludicolo all sitting in at one spot together, which because they all look like the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card Pendulamucho. I mean, come on, look at Ludicolo, look at Pendulamucho, look at that. They literally are the exact same thing. It is just so crazy how canny the resemblance is. It is just awesome, and every time I see Pendulamucho, I just automatically think of Ludicolo and vice versa. It's just so cool to see. Then we have Lugia and Reshiram. Now, this one is probably the wildest stretch so far on this list, because Lugia and Reshiram are 2 completely different typings. They have nothing to do with each other, 2 vastly different generations. So what on earth could they look like as a Yu-Gi-Oh monster? Well, Lugia and Reshiram both having a white design and a color scheme, I think they represent the dual monsters of Stardust Dragon, Azure Eyes Silver Dragon, and the Blue Eyes White Dragon. I mean, for obvious reasons, color scheme being very ferocious, powerful. Reshiram definitely represents the dragon aspect of it, with Azure Eyes and Blue Eyes, and Stardust Dragon both having white color scheme. So therefore, these are the reasons I think Lugia and Reshiram represent these three dragons. It's very highly similar to each other, and I think it's really cool, really powerful too. Then we have Maractus and Carnivine once again. Maractus and Carnivine to me represent Mandragora, and they could also represent a different monster known as Cactus Bouncer, but I'm not going to put it in this video because I didn't think there was too much of a similarity. However, Mandragora both look like Carnivine and Maractus. The similarities are just they're plants, they're both green, so for obvious reasons they look like each other. And then we have Mightyena. Mightyena looks like Performapal Silverclaw. Both have similar color scheme, they're both a beast. Mightyena is a kind of dog-like Pokemon based off the hyena, and they're both very ferocious, very strong. Mightyena is a pretty strong Pokemon, and for Silverclaw can go up to over 2,000 attack points. So I mean, they're both very similar, and that is why they are put next to each other. Then we have Performapal Odd Eyes Light Phoenix and Talonflame, as well as Moltres and Blaze Falcon. These four Pokemon and dual monsters are all very representative of each other. I mean, come on, Light Phoenix and Moltres. Moltres is directly based off of Phoenix, so why would it not look like Odd Eyes Light Phoenix? I mean, come on, it does. It really does. I think it's really cool to see this resemblance, and even in Raid Raptor Blaze Falcon, looking like Talonflame. Talonflame and Moltres are both fire types, having access to a wide range of fire type moves, and Blaze Falcon even shoots fire. It shoots fire because it's a machine, but it's a winged beast at the same time, so it flies, and it's strong. Light Phoenix is also strong and is a phoenix. So for these obvious reasons, I think they look similar to each other. Next up, we have Pikipek from the Alola region. Pikipek looks like Neospatian Air Hummingbird. I mean, Pikipek is pretty much based off of a hummingbird. I mean, granted, it's technically a woodpecker. I mean, it does kind of look like a hummingbird because of its size. An air hummingbird is just really cool. It's got a nice wing pattern. Its designs are awesome. Its color scheme is cool, and they just look really similar to each other. Next up, we have Piplup, Primplup, and Empoleon, another three Pokemon sharing the same spot. So these three Pokemon literally look like every Penguin Yu-Gi-Oh card ever made. They look like No Penguin, Penguin Knight, Penguin Soldier, FLUFFAL Penguin, even Nightmare Penguin, which I'm not gonna put in this video because, I mean, Nightmare Penguin is pretty sick and pretty scary, and the Pokemon are not. But, I mean, come on. Primplup, Piplup, and Empoleon, they really do look like all of the Penguin cards ever made in Yu-Gi-Oh! So for these reasons, they are on this list right here. Next up, we have Poplio, Brione, Primarina, Seal, and Dugong, a whopping 5 Pokemon sharing one spot and sharing one common card. Performapal Seal Eel. I mean, come on, it's a seal, it's an eel, I guess, whatever, but it's just a seal. It looks like a sea lion. It's water type. They're all water type Pokemon, water attribute. So I mean, for these obvious reasons, being from the sea, being from the ocean, they all resemble each other. Next up, we have Pyroar, which looks like Performapal Muffler Line. Fire Muffler Line, I should say. I mean, they both have fire surrounding themselves for their main. They're both lion, a beast, fire attribute, fire type. They're both strong, have wicked abilities, and they're so cool. The design is amazing, and I just really love them for this. And I mean, come on, if you cannot see this one, then I don't know. The resemblance is so obvious. Just fire, lion. It's crazy. It's so cool, and for these reasons, they look like each other. Next up, we have a bit of a stretch here, which is Rayquaza, the Sky High Pokemon. Looks like Slifer the Sky Dragon, as well as Jack Wyvern and Hackworm. Slifer the Sky Dragon, Jack Wyvern, and Hackworm all look like Rayquaza. I mean, Rayquaza is just this ferocious, strong dragon that rules the sky, and that's what Slifer the Sky Dragon does. It's a sky dragon. So Slifer is so cool. It's a big, beefy dragon, ferocious, strong, just like Rayquaza, and with Jack Wyvern and Hackworm, the colors and the design of a serpent dragon just looks so awesome, and they automatically make me think of Rayquaza. And if you saw in one of my Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains videos, I did this comparison also, and said they should call this monster Rayquaza Wyvern. So for these reasons, these are why this Pokemon and these monsters look like each other. Next up, we have Rhyhorn and Rhydon. Rhyhorn and Rhydon are obviously both based off the Rhino, and they have a nice resemblance to Mad Sword Beast. A bit of an older card, but Mad Sword Beast still based off a Rhino because it has a sword as its nose, and based off a Rhino is exactly its similarity between Rhyhorn and Rhydon. I mean, what more than that? It's Earth attribute, they're ground types and rock types. The resemblance is very similar and very obvious. Next up, we have Squirtle and Tirtuga. Squirtle and Tirtuga are obviously both based off tortoises and turtles, being in the same kind of evolution area, and they are representative of PERFORMAPAL Guitardle. Guitardle is obviously, it's just a turtle, it's a cute little turtle with a cute little hat. And Squirtle is just really cool, really a boss, and so is Tirtouga. Tirtouga is one of my favorite ancient Pokemon, and they're both water type, water attribute, so for these obvious reasons, they resemble each other. Then we have Yveltal, or from my M&J TV Pokevids, it's Yveltal. But anyway, Yveltal looks like Red Dragon Archfiend and pretty much every other Red Dragon Archfiend Synchro Monster. They're dark attribute, they're evil, they're tough, ferocious, strong, and kind of nightmarish, and Yveltal is known as the destruction Pokemon, and it's just ridiculous. The Red Dragon Archfiend Synchro Monsters are known for dealing a vast amount of destruction to your opponent, so it's very fitting with ability-wise and design-wise, both being red, black, a nice dark color scheme, and it's just crazy. If Yveltal was a monster, it would so be a Fiend type, or it would definitely be a Dragon type, one or the other. So for these reasons, they look like each other. And the last Pokemon on this list is Zekrom from Unova. So with Zekrom, it looks like Red Eyes Black Dragon and Dark Rebellion XZ's Dragon. I say these two dragons for obvious reasons because of both sharing the black color scheme, black color design. They're both dragons, they're all dragons, and while Red Eyes has access to fire and Zekrom to electricity and Dark Rebellion to dark moves, it's just really awesome to see that they all control a different element, which is really awesome. And if you look at the artwork in the background of Dark Rebellion XZ's Dragon, you can actually see purple, blue, dark lightning in the background, and that's what Zekrom has access to, lightning. It is so amazing, the designs are awesome, and it's just really cool. I mean, imagine Zekrom as a Yu-Gi-Oh card. It would be Dark Rebellion or Red Eyes Black Dragon. So I mean, that's really cool, and for these reasons, I mean, this is a bit of a stretch, but I truly think that Dark Rebellion and Red Eyes look like Zekrom. So that was the list, and that was 50 Pokemon that resembled Yu-Gi-Oh cards from each era. And like always, I hope you guys enjoyed this list. Okay guys, so those are my 50 Pokemon that resemble Yu-Gi-Oh monsters, and I gotta say, it was really cool to point out the similarities between all these Pokemon. I know some of them were a stretch, like Reshiram to Blue Eyes or Stardust or Azure Eyes, even Lugia, Rayquaza to Slifer the Sky Dragon, but I mean, if you look hard enough and think a little outside the box, then you can totally see those similarities. And I really hope I didn't miss a lot of your favorite Pokemon. I know I missed a lot of Pokemon because it's only 50 out of like the 850 that are in the actual Pokédex, but I hope I got a good amount, and I hope I got a lot of your favorites and a lot of well-known Pokemon on this list. I know some of them are a bit stretched, and a lot of them though are really obvious. And I really hope you guys enjoyed seeing the different PERFORMAPAL cards on this list. I mean, I know there were a lot of them, but I mean, come on. They're PERFORMAPALs, they're based off animals. So it's really easy to see the similarities between some Pokemon, like Arbok and Whipsnake, which is one of the first Pokemon I saw the similarities in. So, in today's Dual Talk segment, I want to ask you guys, what are some of your favorite Pokemon designs and Yu-Gi-Oh monster designs? Personally, I am a big fan of the designs of the Regis and the Weather Trio. I love their designs. They are absolutely one of my favorites, as well as the design for Zygarde and Yveltal. Those are just over the top amazing. And in terms of Yu-Gi-Oh monsters, I really like the white and gold design, the white and yellow design that has going on in Yu-Gi-Oh between Lightsorn, Vylon, Teller Knight. I just did an opening on that. So I love those designs. So comment down below what some of your favorite designs are, and what maybe your favorite line of Pokemon are with that kind of design, or a kind of archetype with that design. So that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed, you should totally smash on the like button and a thumbs up. You should totally click on that subscribe button if you're new to my channel, because you won't want to miss a thing. And Bonanza Week is still going on. We are almost halfway through. And I gotta say, it's going pretty good, but I still got a lot more ideas up in the old noggin. So I'm really gonna work harder and get these videos out to you guys. I'm gonna get as many as I can by next Tuesday. So that is the video. Like always, I hope you guys enjoyed. And till next time, Pokemon trainers, duelists, Pokemon masters out there, all you guys out there, train hard. I hope you pick up a deck and start dueling. And like always, I will catch you guys later.